right. So for today, I have our number one driver for the month of February, Mr. Dick Hughes. And a little thing about Dick is that he is actually not only number one driver of the month, but also rookie of the month, which is so exciting. We just brought him into our partnership to work together, and I think his first day was February 4th. That was his first load with us. And just in the short amount of time, he crushed it. So, Dick, welcome to our March newsletter. And I'm so excited. I was excited to see your name as number one and rookie. I think you're the second driver that we've hired that just came in and crushed it the first month. So, congratulations on your success.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah. So this newsletter, we want to focus on kind of getting ready for peak season coming. Typically, slow season runs from November to February, and I told you that during our onboarding call. And yay, we're out of February, which means we're out of slow season. So we really see things start to pick up now as we head into summer. And so that's always very exciting for our drivers. So you went from rookie to making money, and I shouldn't say that you're a rookie because you've been in the industry longer than I have, right? You said you've been doing this for 20 some years, right?
Yeah, 20, 25 years. So,
Yeah.
it only took me 2 decades, but I got that rookie status, that best rookie status. Uh, no, I have been in the business for, like I said, a couple decades.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, yeah, I remember during our initial onboarding meeting, I was just so impressed and we talked about this. Some people are just built for this. I recall I shared with you, I did it for a year and a half. And after a year and a half, it took a toll on my body, to just the sitting. But I remember you said it doesn't hardly even bother you, living on the road day to day. So we love the machine like attitude. But what would you say? I really just kind of want to have a conversation to help our drivers that are watching this on the road. Everybody comes into this wanting to be successful. So what would you say that you did in your first month with us that helped you to achieve this level of status, the miles that you put in and to become rookie of the month and number one driver?
Well, I mean, nothing that I haven't been putting in for years. So it's not like I had techniques for like somebody's first month doing it. That was a very long time ago.
Right.
I just did what I do and, try to get as many jobs as possible and make a bunch of money, make everybody happy, provide quality service so that people, you know, maybe ask for me or, get excited when they see I'm bidding on something, help me in the future, get some more bids. But just quality service, trying to be on time. I mean, I was on time to everything, but you know how it is sometimes when there's accidents and, I just did the best I could.
Yeah. Awesome. And we thank you for that. So, with your extensive background in the industry of 25 years, what would you say surprised you the most working with Hipix Logistics and running as an owner operator with us?
It is nice because there's a lot of, with you guys running under your number and not have to worry about my own stuff. There's a lot of other carrier and dispatch services that still have you run under your own numbers. And so I feel like it's a less valuable service because, they're taking, another hand in the pot, of course, but like they're taking a percent that I would normally be willing to give to somebody like you guys where, I'm running under your numbers. Most of them, they still want that same percent, but they're not putting as much into it. So I feel like you guys are a closer knit, and not that it was surprising, but it's surprisingly refreshing. You guys are like seem like a closer knit bunch and not just a bunch of random people with computers and phones and load boards, and
Yeah.
seeing like the normal average for drivers, I was surprised you guys have such a high volume doing, like you said, 200,000 or 300,000 miles a month or whatever as a company and stuff. That's pretty surprising, especially for a company that's only been in since, I mean, you guys started in 20 or 19, right? But the company starting in just a few years building up, that was pretty surprising, and it's uh, refreshing too to see uh, more closeness with the team.
Yeah, I mean, like I told you, when we onboarded you, it's a family-run business and everybody's family here, and we will bend over backwards to make sure that our drivers are taken care of properly. That is the whole service that we feel that we owe to all of our driver partners is we built this for you. And yes, we take care of everything on the administrative side so that you guys don't have to worry about anything. You only focus on driving and we take care of the rest. So that is, what we have fought very hard to build. But as most people know here in the industry, one of the toughest things as a driver is probably keeping overhead costs down, make sure you're managing your expenses because, we just went through slow season. And as I told you, it's been an interesting trend where I've seen the rates actually kind of go up, but the volume is down. And so what would you recommend to other drivers? How do you control your overhead costs?
Uh, well, you got to spend money to make money, right? But uh, saving money, saving money can be pretty difficult with everything fluctuating in price and everything just going so expensive. But fuel rewards memberships are a big one. I've got all of the fuel rewards memberships I can get, plus an app called Get Upside. I don't know if you're familiar with the Get Upside.
No, I never heard.
Well, I'll have to give you my code. um, it's an app that gives you rebates on gasoline, restaurants, convenience stores, grocery stores. So that helps. You can even with some of your rewards double up.
Awesome.
One of the big things I do is I look ahead and plan my gas stops to get the cheapest of my preferred gas stations I can get, because they'll always be, especially with Shell. I use Shell a lot. I have the Shell Fuel Rewards MasterCard, and that always gets me 15 cents off a gallon. And then it makes it easy tracking my expenses. If I do have to buy something in the store, the rewards memberships usually help you out with discounts if you do have to buy something in the store, but also extra fuel discounts. So maximizing all that stuff, or if you have a credit card or a bank card that gives you really good rewards on fuel, just maximizing your rewards and rebates on fuel. So, like I said, I look ahead and I plan my stops, because with Shell, my preferred gas station, there'll be a bunch of Shells in the area, but one or two of them will be extremely cheap, 30, 40, 50 cents cheaper. And so, I mean, I'm sure you've come across it. You've stopped for gas, and then you go down the road, 10 miles down the road, it's 60 cents cheaper. You're like, oh, like, dang it, that was like $4, So planning gas stops really can help save a lot of money, make it as convenient as possible. I don't go out of my way to save money on gas, especially on the job. Um, but looking ahead, and then I get my stretches in at my gas stop, so I try to fill between a half and a quarter of a tank. Try to make sure you always have fuel. But again, planning gas stops is a big one.
And just to verify, you can track that on the Shell app to know, like they post the price of gas on their app.
Yeah, and then they'll show you the price with any of your rewards that you have. Like I said, once if you get enough gas fill ups for the month, which for us is like instantly we're at platinum status. That right there, the regular gold status is 5 cents a gallon. The platinum status is 10 cents a gallon. And then some of the rewards you get in the store are doubled. Um, and then with the Shell Rewards MasterCard, which I suggest anybody that can, you get the Shell Fuel Rewards MasterCard, because then that adds another 5 cents. So it's always 15 cents a gallon. And, I mean, in just on the other side of Memphis here, I ended up paying 2.25 a gallon for regular, so, and I mean,
Um,
yeah. And then Get Upside, I also got a few cents a gallon. The Get Upside varies. I don't always get to use the Get Upside, and it's not always more than 1 or 2 or 3 cents, but a lot of times it's 7, 8, 10, 12 cents. So again, when you're planning ahead for your gas stops, you can also look at the Get Upside. I might be a little picky, sticking with, like, I have my first choice is Shell, my second is ExxonMobil, because I have cards for those two, and then Chevron, and then other acceptable brand name gas. Never low quality gas. That costs more in parts in the long run, and efficiency.
yeah,
You always need to buy top tier fuel. Uh,
right.
and then food too, like you don't want to eat on the road a lot. Over the road drivers usually have a fridge, so they all, either buy food cheaper and have it, and try to have a setup to cook it. Doesn't always work out, but if you do have to buy on the road, me personally, I'm easy. If my belly's full, I'm satisfied. I like really good food, of course, and I have plenty of opportunity to have really good food. But like, right when you started this meeting, I was looking at the closest Costco because I'm just going to go get a $5 or $6 chicken, and that's enough food for like the whole day.
Yeah,
For five or
yeah,
six
we used to
bucks.
do that a
So,
lot too. We would always get those rotisserie chickens, um,
hmm
whatever local grocery store there was, and yeah, that can definitely feed you for a good budget.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
so yeah, thank you for sharing that for, just some advice for our drivers. As I mentioned, as we are getting out of slow season, from my business standpoint, in having our company for 5 years, I've seen a lot of drivers where they will literally just take the winter months off. I don't know what they do for a source of income. That's not my business, but they will it's like almost say hibernate and then come back out on the road after winter, which is basically, about March time. And I can even see in our fleet, the quantity of drivers that we have lost since October has gone down. We had about 30 drivers that got off the road from like November until presently. So I assume now that we're entering into the peak season of summer, we're going to get more of those drivers back on the road. And what would you say, outside of controlling the overhead costs that we just talked about, what would be good habits to kind of double down on as we get into this new season?
One of the biggest things I've seen in my experience that can uh, cause hindrance is people don't have printers. Have a printer. I've always had a printer in my car. Back in the day, you had to, have an inverter. And then they started coming out with the portable printers, and they were way expensive at first. But a
Uh-huh.
regular cheap desktop, and I mean, I've got like a $60 HP, and I'm 60, $70 every few years on a printer. If you have to put in a inverter, you have to. With the battery setups for over the road and people that have batteries, it's like, I mean, it's no big deal really to have a printer.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that always surprised me is when I am speaking with new people or talking with new dispatchers, and I just mentioned I have a printer. They're like, "Oh, you got a printer?" I'm like, "Yeah, doesn't everybody?" No, and that blows my mind. Have a printer. It's one of the basic. It's just as important as straps.
Yeah.
I see a lot of people not take straps seriously too. I mean, you've seen the pictures of the back of my van. I've got small straps, long straps, big, huge straps, 1,000-pound straps, 3,000-pound straps, 200-pound straps,
Right.
um, and then sunflower seeds. Sunflower seeds, they'll help you from getting not necessarily the falling asleep, but you know how it is. You're on the road for hours and you're just like so bored, and then your mind just wants to like reset. Sunflower seeds can help get you focused if you eat those. They can save your life too. If you're on a long one and you are getting tired and you need to get some more driving in, uh, doing all that motion, eating them, really, really helps to get the drowsiness away. Beef jerky too, tearing at it if you eat beef jerky.
Yeah.
Um, but sunflower seeds are, and then also getting out and stretching every couple hours. That really helps. Splash some cold water in your face. That helps.
Yeah.
Um, High quality fluids, all of your fluids, your oil. That's the most important fluid. I mean, all the fluids are important, but oil, quality oil that's going to protect your engine and help with efficiency and the longevity of your engine. So even if it costs a few bucks more now, it can save you in the long run. Tires too. We're talking about saving money, and I always suggest making sure you buy premium tires, which cost more money. But in my opinion, it saves you money in the long run because they last longer. If
Yeah.
you're spending as little as possible on tires and you're going, I mean, I do like 150,000 miles a year generally. And so I go through 3 sets of tires easy, but I go through less because I buy higher quality tires. They last longer, they handle better. And another thing with tires is always buy all weather tires. They are
Mhm.
superior to all season tires. And a lot
Yeah.
of people don't know the difference. And I've even gotten into arguments at tire shops about it too. There's a major difference. All weather tires have the 3 peak mountain snowflake rating. So all season tires, they're designed for all seasons, but nothing more than really just like mild wintry conditions. Once
Yeah.
it gets a little more than mild, they lose their capability. And I mean, the all weathers didn't come into America until 2013, and I immediately noticed a difference in I mean, I always went on all seasons, and in the harsh years, winter tires. But in Colorado, it's minus 21 day and 70 the other day. So I always had 2 sets of tires, and I could just switch them.
Oh,
But it's
wow.
a hassle, especially when you're on the road. You know,
Right. Right.
um, so the all-weather tires are much better for getting around the whole country. I mean, in the wintertime, of course, but winter is subjective. I'm from Colorado, and I've been through blizzards in, the end of May, the
Yeah.
beginning of October, or nothing at all. So the all-weather tires, and I prefer the Nokian brand, but any quality brand, premium all-weather tire is going to be save you tires in over time, but also um, I know maybe some of the folks that take the winter off just don't like the way they feel while you're driving through the snow. The all-weather tires will make you feel so much more comfortable. That's a big thing too. You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. I can totally vouch for that too. Me being from Florida, Joe and I never have driven in a blizzard until we were drivers, but having the right tires can certainly, get you safely on the road and,
Mhm.
I mean, I recall driving like 25 miles an hour on the highway, but we felt safe doing so just because of the tires. So
Yeah.
I think really good advice that people don't tend to think about those things of where you're investing your money, especially when it comes to your own safety. So we do have tax season right around the corner, about a month away. And I know some drivers I know I've hired a bunch of drivers that have come from W-2 jobs, and now they're diving into, being an owner operator. And so for you that you've been doing this for 25 years, do you have any advice to drivers when it comes to preparing for tax season?
Just, yeah, I mean, it can be so hard to even just organize and keep your receipts.
Yeah.
It seems so simple, logging stuff, and then you have a receipt book and you got a log book, and it takes seconds, but sometimes you just don't have the time, and then you get behind, and it's easy to, and then you're just like guessing at tax time or running through a bunch of credit card, whatever you
Hmm.
use to pay for stuff. What I do um, is, and I've gone through a couple of different versions. I'm always trying to look for the best way to do things. So I actually have these little manila envelopes that, let's see if we can get a good picture of it. I
Nice.
have I have organized and had made to uh, have everything on it for your complete taxes and business expense.
Wow.
So I track my miles, I track the days. I have it like customized for my vehicle. You might want to maybe block those out in the recording if you can, like my VIN number and stuff. But so it's a really easy way to help me keep track, because I can get in a hurry and just throw it down, and then I got this whole mess of receipts. So I've got a section for my fuel expense, I've got a section for food, office supplies, tools and equipment, car washes, propane, shower and shower supplies. You got a shower on the road.
Yeah.
um, Tires, what I've done with my tires, maintenance and repair, other vehicles, other expenses that are included in the standard miles, because sometimes you want to look at both. And doing this, it makes it easy for me to actually do both. I go and compile it every day. Sometimes, if I didn't do much as far as expenses, I'll use this for a couple of days. It's not always just one day, but sometimes, most of the time it is just one day. I compile it, and then I have a folder for that I put the months in, and then at the end of the months I go and I compile all my daily stuff. And then of course the monthly stuff, you got insurance, you got all that other stuff. I mean, we talked about it in the beginning, I've got multiple load boards, so I've got monthly expense for that, occupational, my monthly expense for that. I've got some association memberships, so then at the end of the month, I go and compile it for the month and then add all that stuff. And then at the end of the year, when it's tax time, I just go and look at, it's compiled, like it's
Yeah.
compiled regularly. And so that I have found is the easiest way, because I've had a bucket of receipts. I've had, stacks of credit
Yeah.
card receipts and stuff like that. I've tried multiple different ways, and this is what I have found is the easiest for me. Especially, you can get a little distracted, get a little ADHD in the head or something, and as simple as it is, just writing some things down and logging it, man, it if you don't do it diligently, it really quick it becomes out of hand, and then you're just not
Hmm.
doing it. So for taxes, something like this really helps. And they have stuff. They have books and folders. And the reason I make my own is because the books don't really hit on everything that I want. I mean, it's simple enough to make your own, and you can make it to a system that works best for you and has everything that you want to track, because not all of them have everything. Some of
Right.
them are like, oh man, that's a really great thing, I like that, but man, I have another book that I got to go and you got three different things you're trying to track, expenses and mileage and stuff, and find
Yeah.
something that works for you, that makes it easy to track, or make something that makes it super easy, because this is a drop in the bucket. And like I said, next tax year when I go, even now, uh, all I got to do is go and run, go and add up monthly numbers. And so that's 12 things I have, I mean, different sections, but
Hmm. Right.
it's that's the easiest.
Well, and it's never like totally easy to keep track of it, but you have a really effective system. And just as a side note to our followers, our readers right now, we did not go over these questions. These are totally surprise questions for Dick, and so you didn't know a tax question was coming your way. And I, I didn't know how you would answer that, but your system looks phenomenal, and I think that's great advice for drivers that
It's from years of doing it horribly.
and that's how we learn. I mean,
Like, oh, I want this to be less stressful, and so from there, because there's been years I'm just making stuff up, really, right?
but that's
Digging through a billion receipts, it's no fun.
no, it isn't. And I wish somebody educated me when I went from W-2 to 1099 on what to do. I think that a lot of drivers don't think about those things. So keep track of what you're spending money on, because all of it
Yeah.
matters when it comes to tax season.
Yes,
So
your clothes, your everything,
yeah,
everything. And that's a big thing too, is being aware of what you can do tax wise. You don't have to be an expert, just a basic understanding of the things that you can write off, and then you track them. And I encourage people to learn how to do your taxes yourself, because you can not manipulate it or do anything illegal, but you can cut out some expenses if you want to. And the tax professionals, they don't, they just put it all in, and then sometimes you don't get the best return you can, because they don't, you know because I mean, there's been years where I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to get anything back because I completely wrote off everything. Let me take back some of my write-off miles so that I can have some kind of income and get something in
yeah,
return. So
yeah. We got to.
or if you have a trusted tax person, they will love this. They will love it. If you could just hand them a year's worth of receipts in a manila envelope with everything written on it and add it up, all compiled monthly. Oh man, they should give you a discount for their services
Yeah.
with it.
Yeah. Well, awesome.
And if you
Thanks.
get audited, oh my gosh, like I've never been audited. Uh the state of Illinois, the first year I started out in Illinois. The state of Illinois questioned my taxes because, I had a whole 10 months of trying to, or 8 months of trying to build business. So I had a lot of expenses and then all my mileage. They were like, wait, what? So it was very easy to prove to them. But even if the IRS came after you and was like, hey, we don't like this, or this doesn't look right, you hand them 300 of these, and I mean, they go, I imagine they'd probably go through 10 or 15 of them and be like, this is so accurate. Let's just get
Yeah.
done with it.
Not
So,
not
but I mean, probably not, but it'll make it easier, you
right.
know.
Cool. Well, thank you for sharing your system. I'm sure that's going to be very helpful. So you've really left us with a lot of great nuggets today. And just before we wrap up, I just want to what would you say as your final words for new drivers, you being the most veteran rookie of the month
Yeah,
that we
yeah,
had,
yeah, right.
give to other drivers on the road?
Well, I mean, be patient. Sometimes you got to sit around. Um, sometimes you just got to take some stuff at low rates to get the wheels turning, of course, but be patient. There usually will be some good stuff. For a lot of drivers starting out, there's a lot of initial expense and frustration. And, there's not that you get thrown to the wolves, not with a company like you guys. You guys seem you would be a lot more informative for new drivers and help people learn, rather than a lot of the industry. You get a vehicle and then you go and do it. And there's a lot of tricks of the trade, but there's a lot of basic stuff, like looking ahead, go to the satellite version of your map at your pickup and drop off destination. And then you can kind of see about where you can tell where the shipping and receiving areas are. They usually have big
Right.
concrete pad and trucks lined up,
Right.
or you can kind of give yourself a heads up about like an idea in your head of what it's going to look like when you're pulling up to a new place. Look ahead. Definitely always be looking ahead for gas. You know, that's one of the biggest things. And then be patient. You know, I if you can stick it out, if you start out and you're having a rough couple of weeks, rough couple of months, and you stick it out and you put the effort in that's needed to learn and then do the job well, it will reward you in the future, because like it's rough starting out at first. If you have no formal training, you've never done a driving job, you've never been running a business and stuff, it can be very frustrating. Don't give up on it. If you have, you know, and then even throughout the year, even 20 years down the road, I've had months where it's just terrible. And, you know, sometimes you just have to be patient, you know, be
Yeah.
diligent, you know, do what you say you're going to do when you're going to do it. Don't unaccept things. Don't
No.
overbook yourself. Know your limitations. Look ahead for more work, but know your limitations. Know there's going to be maybe some delays. So like, don't try to book things too tight together.
Yeah.
Uh, you know, I'm always trying to look for the next day. As soon as I have a job, I'm looking in the area that I'm going to for when I'm going to be there. I'm already trying to look for more work. You know, being proactive and yeah, patient. Make sure that you take care of your equipment. Again, the tires are so important. The fluids are so important. Even just keeping your windshields clean, your windows clean. You know, I have a couple little couple little tools. I got a little like one of those extreme little blower fans, so that,
Hmm.
you know, I can blow my windows off when they're wet and everything. I've got, you know, a little squeegee,
Oh,
so
cool.
that, I mean, it even extends so that even, you know, you just keep your windows clean. It's so like when you get the
Yeah.
sun glare or at night the light glare, even a
Yeah.
little bit of stuff on your windows can cause a lot of problems. You want to be safe.
Yeah.
Um, the
Absolutely.
tires, take your tires seriously. Maybe I take my tires too seriously, but you know, there's good reason.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, take care of your equipment and have a printer. You know, if I could, you know, it just drives me crazy knowing that people, I mean, and I've asked people too before, like, well, what do you do to print? Oh, I'll go to a FedEx, or I'll go to the office, or, you know, I'll ask them at the place to print it. For one, ask them at the place makes you look unprepared, makes you look unprofessional.
Hmm. Yep.
Wasting time to go out of your way to a FedEx or an office location, something that you can print, you know, and then those places aren't always open. You want to be able to print right now on the go. Laser jets are good. They don't take as much ink and they last a lot longer. The portable printers are getting cheaper and they don't take any ink at all. They're thermogenic, so it's like a, you know, just a like a receipt you get from
Oh, okay.
anywhere. You know, it's I don't personally like it because that thermal paper, if it does get too hot, it's just going to turn black.
Oh,
That's how it
right.
works. You know, it's heat activated, but you could buy it with a whole roll and then just rip off, and then you've got, you know, you don't have to worry about ink. I like the laser jet because the ink lasts longer, you know, or whatever it is. I'm not sure what it is, but yeah, make sure you have a printer and make sure that you have plenty of water and sunflower seeds. Yeah.
Yes.
If you're going through in the winter time and like I don't ever stop. I mean, because like I said, I'm from Colorado and our winters could be once every couple of years, or it could be like from October to, especially in the mountains, October to June, you know. Um, so I don't take any of that time off, but having really high quality, good all weather tires will make you feel safer on the road in the winter. Um, and
Absolutely.
take care of your equipment. Oil changes on time, brake fluid on time, transmission fluid on time. You know, rotating tires. You know, so when you take care of that stuff, you end up spending less on it in the future.
Yep. So,
And do what you say you're gonna do. If it's a dedicated run, don't partialize it. Don't even risk it. You know,
no,
I've seen a lot of people make that mistake where they're like, I just do it anyway. And then somebody finds out and then they lose all their business with that company. So
you
a
lose
few
your business
dollars more than that.
and
Yeah.
you're gonna lose your money. You can't. like the amount of money that I've seen that brokers will take away, you know, if they see that you have freight on the vehicle, you just don't want to go there. So,
Yeah.
you know, don't be sneaky like that. But
Yeah.
I would say you left us with a lot of golden nuggets today. So let's see, 5 key takeaways. Get a gas app to find a gas program, which we're
Get
not
all of them.
we're not paid sponsors of Shell, but Dick does recommend Shell. Get a printer for the vehicle, which will save you time and money in the long run. Invest in premium tires, all-weather premium tires, which are good for the road. It's a good investment for your vehicle. Eat sunflower seeds. That's a new one
Yeah.
that I like. And keep track of your expenses. I love those manila folders that you have. I think that's so creative. I think you have a really great system that you put for yourself as a business owner. So I would say we got some great key takeaways for our readers. So thank you, Dick, for all of the advice that you've given. Thank you for choosing to partner with HipFix Logistics. It's been a really great month together. And now that we're out of slow season, hopefully we just go up from here.
Yeah, yeah. And again, thank you for the opportunity. I appreciate it. And I'm glad that it's working out for you too.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So thank you, Dick, for your time today. It's been a pleasure conversing with you, learning, you know, what some of the successful habits are. And thank you for sharing words of wisdom with our followers as well. And maybe we'll see you again next month if we can hit #1 driver again.
Well, now that I know it's a thing, I'm going to try.
Yeah, that I know. Side note, he was totally surprised. I reached out and I was like, Dick, you got #1 driver and #1 rookie, which is a little small bonus that we like to give on a monthly basis to #1. So now that he knows, it's actually a little bonus incentive. But some of our drivers get pretty competitive. So
Yeah, friendly competition is always good. It keeps us fresh and it keeps us motivated.
yeah, exactly. So, all right, Dick. Well, thank you again for your time today. It's been fun chatting with you, and I hope you have a good rest of your evening ahead.
Yeah, you too. Wish me luck on the bids.
Yeah, you'll get it.
Yeah.
All right, bye.
Bye.